Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.
Razabani for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. I'm with my man, Jazza Dickens, aka Mr. Terry Tibbs. Jazza, how are we?
Jazza and Raza, it's always going to be a good interview.
How are we doing? How's the family?
Yeah, all good, Raz. All good. Yourself?
Yeah, everyone's good. Everyone's good. Thank you. Jazz, before we talk about your fight and boxing, I remember speaking to you over the summer and we were stuck in a lockdown. I'm speaking to you now again towards the end of the year and we're still in a lockdown. How tough has it been for you over the last couple of weeks? I know up in Liverpool in the north, the situation and the COVID rates are a lot higher where I am in the south.
Don't believe what you see in the news or reading the papers, because most jobs have stopped, but that was the same. But I can't say there's any difference now between the last lockdown. Maybe it's just me, but I just go to the gym and go back home, don't write to my family, and I've got that. The kids are back in school, so I feel like there's been more freedom. I feel like there's more freedom because the kids are in school.
The kids are at school, so you got more freedom. But has it been easier to kind of keep your mind focused and train during lockdown? Has it been normal?
Yeah, I'm lucky, Raz. I'm really lucky because I don't stay at home. My family are less than half a mile away, and I haven't seen them for like 2 weeks. I've got a good girl who looks after me 3 kids, and I go away, I stay in my dad's house, just me and him. I go proper lockdown anyway. This is life for me, boxing terms, and for this global pandemic, nothing's really changed for me. I've been one of the lucky ones, one of the lucky few who've still been able to work and not suffer so much because of the global pandemic. But I can't imagine how tough it is for a lot of people. So I think some people really depend on being social and having family and friends around them. I'm a little bit of a loner. I grew up an only child, so I'm all right. I'm all right with it, but I can't imagine that it must be so tough for a lot of people.
Just want to get your opinion. Obviously, the government recently announced funding that for certain sports. We saw football, rugby, horse riding, and other sports, but they didn't announce any funding for boxing. I know you come from the grassroots, the amateur clubs, where there isn't a lot of funding. It's kind of self-funded by people, by community. But were you surprised and shocked with this bizarre announcement from the government?
I've seen it, Raz, yeah, and my outlook is that, like, why should I be unhappy for those people who are getting it? And all I can do is be happy for. I didn't even know ice hockey existed in England, to be honest, when I seen it. But what I can say is that for these amateur gyms, professional boxing, I get it, it's a business. We generate our own income, and whoever's good at it, they're the ones who are going to succeed the most. But the amateur boxing, it saves lives. The kids who are in amateur boxing, the government don't understand that. Most of these kids are from underprivileged backgrounds. Do you know what I mean? And they're giving it to, like, do you say horse riding or
horse riding,
ice hockey or whatever? Yeah. But a lot of these kids have got, like, I don't know, I can't speak for personal, but I think that amateur boxing definitely could do with the help. I know the boxing clubs that I've been in, everyone's voluntary. All these people, they don't get a penny out of it, do you know what I mean? So, and they're saving lives, but it's doing a better job than prisons.
No, absolutely. Jazza, we spoke a couple of times in the summer. Your fight was, I think, going to happen in like May, June time, then August, and then we kept doing interviews just because we thought you was going to fight. We then did like a press conference between yourself and Ryan. We thought that was a date. I think it was September. You are so excited. I know you train very, very hard. You get all the way into the bubble. You get your COVID test done, and it comes back as positive. And I know you smile about it now and you laugh about it because you're not far away from that date. But just describe that feeling when maybe, was it Lee Eaton or somebody came to you and said, Jazza, you've tested positive?
Yeah, the bubble got burst well and truly. It was my coach who phoned me, Jerry phoned me. He had word off at MTK. We done a press conference, didn't we? And then we went to our rooms, and so Lee Eaton got sent home and Ryan got sent home because we'd all mixed contact. We all had contact, and I just didn't know I had it. If I never took the COVID test, I would probably not know I ever had it. So it was a really strange situation. When I got the phone call, I've got a documentary, made the documentary myself on YouTube, and it's all on there. My initial reaction, inside, it was a lot worse than what I could show. Obviously, I'm not going to start going, oh, I feel terrible. I don't want to start pouring my heart out to a camera, but yeah, it was grim. I was in denial. I went straight for the independent COVID test right away, and I still was in denial. When I got to the independent COVID test, the lad who was giving me the test, he said, "What's happening? Are you fighting?" And I'm looking at him thinking, yeah, I'm here with you now. Obviously, I've been sent home. He said, "I've just seen it now on Sky. You're still fighting." but yeah, it was tough. It was tough, but I've said this all along. Not just the man who wins this tournament will be the one who's the most dedicated, the one who's the most persistent, who believes in himself the most, and who's willing to go through failure after failure, or hardship after hardship to get with. How many times am I going to fail, or how many times can I be set back before I get what I want, which is to be world champion? And the answer is unlimited amount of times I will get there and will do what I've got to do, and I'll go through anything I've got to go through to get to where I want to be.
You put your body through blood, sweat and tears through training camp. Is that the hardest part, where all that effort you put in and now you just have to just freeze yourself, let your body recover, rest, and then get your mind ready to go again?
Yeah, well, it's a good place to be, because you've done all the work and there's no stone left unturned, and it's also a tough place to be. I would just describe it to people as like, you've done all your Christmas shopping and you've just got them little bits to go and get, like the wrapping paper. Now I've got the bulk of everything. Now I've just got to go and get the wrapping paper and the sellotape. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to do it, but you've got to do it at the end. You've got to rest up and now, and you've got to just prepare in these last few days. So it's just like settling down, whereas you're not used to training 2 to 3 times a day, and now you've just got to sit on the couch and look for things to do. So the more things you can look, I enjoy the likes of this with you guys now, because it fills my day. Do you know what I mean? I've got nothing else to do today. I might just go for a walk or something. I don't know.
So, but in terms of like making sure you're still clean, making sure there's no issues, and not next week but the week after, like, are you doing independent testing yourself?
Well, no. The situation now, Raz, is that I could still test positive, I think, 90 days afterwards. So I think I won't be taking another COVID test, because I think that's the rule. I think we follow the football. The footballers don't take another test within 90 days. If it was 90 days gone by, then that the situation would be that I'd have to take another one. We'd have to start again. But no, I don't take the test. So therefore, I don't think I will. I don't know what the situation's going to be, to be honest, with the bubble and the press conference. Am I best just staying away, or do I want to be contaminated if we do another press conference ahead to where the media before Ryan's had his results and stuff like that? So it's we don't know where we're at. To be honest, I don't think it's been a situation before.
I don't know where I read, but when you tested positive, I believe you called Ryan and spoke to him on the phone.
Yeah, but I thought it would just be the right thing to do, because he's a man who's got a family just as well as me. I know how I felt, so I know he must have felt the same. He lives in Tenerife. I think Ryan lives in Tenerife with his family. So he will have been sacrificing a lot. He will have had to come over here. He will have spent just as much money as me on having his camp as well. So I just thought the right thing to do, man to man, would to be phone and say, this was never intended, and we will throw down. We just both have to wait, and hopefully it's in a better situation. I think it is. I actually believe that it's for better, as well as preparation wise and training camp wise. I just had a week off, and week off. I think I had 2 weeks off, and just like saying and went again. But the camp has got there was things that I didn't know, like that was gonna. Would have I swapped this camp for the last one, and would have I went to what I went to? In hindsight, yeah. At the time, no.
No, absolutely. Is it going to be harder? And I don't mean to come from a negative angle, but you both waited so long for this fight. It's finally going to happen, and you're both eager to win. You're two of the nicest guys in the game. Is it going to be hard to take a defeat at this stage?
Raz, I'm not going there. It's just not in me thoughts. It's not. I'm sure it will be hard for Ryan. Yeah, it'll be really hard. Can he keep on making featherweight after? Could he face another heartbreak? All I know is that I will keep doing what I've got to do to do what I've got to do. I'm being positive right now and thinking about winning and doing everything in my power to win. That's why I'm doing this. So that's where I'm at. I don't know. But what one concern I have got is this advert. The advert before this film. Is these deaths keeping you up? That advert's keeping me up at night. And I haven't spoken to IFL since the 10-year anniversary, so congratulations on the 10-year anniversary. I remember the days and it was just Cougar and James up and down the country. They probably weren't getting much for it, but they've done amazing, and yourselves and everyone involved now. So yeah, congratulations to everyone at IFL.
I appreciate that. Yeah, Cougar has spent a lot of grafting over the last 10 years, more than anybody in the team. So he definitely deserves all the praise that he gets. But Jazz, I know I asked you this question last time, and I'm going to ask you this again. But you've seen all these shows that Frank Warren's doing, Eddie Hearn's doing, MTK are doing, everything behind closed doors. We can hear what the corner's telling you. We can hear the punches to the body. Is that going to play a favour in your part of your game and tactics?
I don't know, because I won't be hearing it, will I? I won't be the one outside listening to it. And I don't watch boxing myself, so all I can say is that I'm going to have a fight, I don't think you actually think about what you hear in a fight. Maybe you can be tuned into how he's breathing and when you make a feint or you listen with a body shot and the noise he makes, but I would hear them anyway,
Oh, no fans?
And no fans, you blank out to them anyway. Well, I'm saying that all I can go by is my previous experiences. In the past, it was nice to fight in front of no fans. It made me realise why I do it. I told you last time tonight when I went out to America and fought in Dominican Republic, and there was nobody there, and it was nice because it was real. You know what I mean? There was no safety. There was no safety bubble. You know what I mean? There weren't even paramedics there. They weren't like there weren't no safety. It was a real fight. So that's what I realised. That's why I do it. That was a great moment for me because I thought, it's fucking fight up. It's fight or fight. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna fight. It's fight or fight, and that's why I do it. That's why I've always done it. And I'm looking forward to doing it. I'll probably be the only. Well, I can't only. I think I was the first fighter to test positive. I think, and I will be the last fighter. The last fighter to fight in this global pandemic. I hope, because being on top of the bill, I'll be the only fighter to test positive, and the last fighter to fight in the global pandemic. And during this time, we'll look back and we'll probably tell our grandkids what we the global pandemic and all that. So I'll be just rabbiting on about that. I was the only fighter, I failed the first test. I had the last fight in the global pandemic. So I think it's good that I get to fight during this pandemic, and I'm also very, very lucky and very blessed to MTK, Sky, and my team who have actually all pulled together to make this happen, because we didn't have to.
No, absolutely. Is there a celebration planned after the fight? What are you doing? Any plans there? Hopefully we'll be out of lockdown by then.
Yeah, well, we are. It's the second, isn't it? Apparently we're supposed to be out on the second.
That's right.
Barry Jones is just someone said, what's the plans on the second? And Barry Jones was, I heard Jazz Dickens and Ryan Walsh, you're fighting at 10 o'clock. So I said back to him, it would be like the scene of Wizard of Oz where I come out and everything's in colour and people are coming out and all that. So I don't know what the plans are, because the truth of this sport is that one man could be seriously injured, and there's been times in the ring where people have never come out of a ring and people have lost their life and stuff like that. So I can't start planning like that. Out of respect for my opponent, so I don't plan nothing after the fight. I just plan on getting my arm raised, and that's where I see the end of the fight.
Jazza, I just want to get your thoughts. Obviously, your fellow Liverpoolian, your fellow Scouser, Callum Smith.
Callum, yeah, absolutely.
Big news announced this week. He gets his chance to fight arguably one of the greatest fighters fighting right now, existing in Canelo Alvarez. Canelo has, though, fought, I think he fought Matthew Hatton, Ryan Rhodes, I think he's fought, Amir Khan he's fought, Rocky Fielding he's fought. So he's beating all the British at the moment. Can Callum cause an upset? Do you give Callum a chance in this fight?
Yeah, of course I do. Of course I do. If Callum beats him, this is my outlook now. If Callum beats him, I won't go, wow, do you see that? Wow, that was amazing. That I honestly believe that he can beat him. Do I think it's going to be tough? Right, it's going to be tough. Canelo Alvarez is an amazing fighter. He's one of the best fighters ever. Anyway, he's probably be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if he is already, but can he beat him? The answer to that is yes. I think he should know. I think he should know. Yeah, of course I can fucking beat him. That's why I'm going in. I'm going to smash him to bits. And maybe I'm sure he will believe that himself, and I hope he does, because he's more than capable of beating him.
Obviously, we know over the last couple of months, Billy Joe Saunders has been chasing the fight. Callum's been chasing the fight. We know Liam, Callum's brother's fought Canelo before as well, so I mixed him off the list as well. But would that be advantage to Callum, because Liam's fought him, and hopefully give him some tactics or some advice on what to do, what not to do?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm sure Callum will say, well, you lost, I'm going to win. Do you know what I mean? Possibly, yeah. They're close, aren't they? It depends on what type of relationship they have, and on how they see a fight, how they approach a fight going into it. I personally, I don't focus too much on what my opponent's going to do, how I can capitalize on. I focus on my own game, and I don't know how Callum is in that situation. Will he just be like, look, I know what I'm going to do, I know what I've got to do. I'm not going to base my approach around your failures. I don't know if that's his mentality. Maybe it's just like, I know what I'm going to do, and that's how I'm going to do it. I don't know, but I'm sure it can't hurt.
Okay,
Sorry, the other thing is the experience around the fight, which will help more. Seeing the place, seeing like maybe they're going to fight in the same place. I think they're going to fight in Texas. Is it?
Texas, correct.
Is that where Liam fought?
I think Liam fought the Dallas season, I think, or the 18th
season
he fought.
Yeah, well, they have these tricks. These fighters play these tricks. Not tricks. Everyone has their own way of going about it. And when he's in charge, you know what they're going into. Do you know what I mean? There's got to be, there'll be many upsets. Like people throw things on you last minute. There's massive things with the media and all that, while Canelo's just in the background resting, and you've got to do all this media things. That's how it works. You know what I mean? There's things happen like that. So maybe he's already seen that before, and he's prepared for that. So that'll be a good thing.
Absolutely. Jazza, I'll end on this, but nearly 10 days away now from that night that you've been waiting for the last 7-8 months now. I know you're super excited. I can tell by your face you're very, very excited. But obviously it's the fight game, and you'll be switched on as you get closer to fight night. But what can the fans, what can the audience expect to see from Jazza Dickens in 10 days' time?
Yeah, you see what I've been doing in the gym. I've been working my ass off since I was a little boy, and you'll see me fighting like I've never fought before, because I have to. I can box going forward, I can box going back, I can fight most ways really. So I will do what I have to do to adapt in there, and I'll do what I have to do to win. Will the fight catch fire? Maybe not. I believe I can win it. How I feel like will be shoot the best in me, and if you'd be probably best just tuning in to find out. I do believe it will be a good fight, because Ryan Walsh is a really good fighter too.
Jazza Dickens, IFL TV, thank you very much.
Thank you, Raz.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.